Nobody could have predicted what was about to happen. A routine school visit. A trained German Shepherd doing what he always did. But then, in the middle of the demonstration, the dog stopped cold. His eyes locked onto a massive painting hanging above the stage. And without any warning, he lunged. His teeth ripped through the aged canvas with terrifying force. Screams echoed through the gymnasium. Chaos erupted. Some thought the dog had snapped. But when that painting came crashing down, revealing what had been hidden behind it for decades, the entire room fell into stunned silence. What that dog uncovered would expose the school's darkest secret and rewrite history itself. It was supposed to be just another community outreach day. Officer Mark and his canine partner Rex had been invited to Jefferson Middle School to put on a demonstration. The kind of event the department does to connect with kids and teach them about safety. The gymnasium was packed. Kids sat on the floor, legs crossed, eyes wide with excitement. Teachers lined the walls, smiling and chatting quietly. Rex sat perfectly still beside Mark, ears up, alert, his eyes scanning the crowd like he was already on duty. The demonstration began as it always did. Rex showed off his obedience, responded flawlessly to sent commands, and even performed a mock search that had the kids cheering. He trotted back to Mark with his tail wagging, proud and calm. Everything was going exactly as planned. Then something shifted. As the applause faded, Rex's entire demeanor changed. His tail dropped. His ears sharpened. His body went rigid. Without any command, he turned sharply and stared at the wall. Specifically, at a large, faded mural near the exit. Mark noticed immediately. Rex didn't move like this unless something serious was happening. Mark gave a quiet command for him to return, but Rex didn't budge. Instead, he took a slow step forward and let out a low, rumbling growl, his eyes locked on the painting. The gym went quiet. Something had caught Rex's attention, and Mark knew better than to ignore it. Before anyone could process what was happening, Rex bolted. In one powerful leap, the trained dog launched himself toward the mural on the wall. Teachers gasped. A few kids screamed. Mark's instincts kicked in instantly. Rex, stop, he called out, but the dog had already made his move. His powerful paws hit the wall with force, claws scraping against the old canvas as he began tearing into the lower corner of the painting. This wasn't aggression. It was focus. Precision. Rex wasn't acting out. He was investigating. Mark had seen that look before, usually during serious drug raids or high-stakes searches. Something was behind that painting, and Rex was determined to reach it. The mural, which showed a peaceful scene of children reading under a tree, started to peel away. Large chunks of canvas flapped loose as Rex clawed and tugged at the material with laser focus. Mark rushed over, grabbing Rex by the harness, trying to pull him back. But then he stopped. That smell. Faint but unmistakable. A sharp, acrid scent. Mark's eyes widened. It wasn't just old paint or mildew. It was something far more dangerous. Chemicals. Possibly explosive residue. Rex had detected something serious. The room was no longer just a classroom. It had just become a potential crime scene. Mark crouched beside Rex, his eyes narrowing as he peered behind the torn painting. Dust floated through the sunlight streaming in from the windows, casting a hazy glow over the cracked wall. What he saw next made his breath catch in his throat. There was a small wooden panel embedded into the wall behind the canvas. No visible hinges. No handle. But it was slightly ajar. Rex let out another low growl, his nose pressed against the narrow gap. Mark reached forward carefully and pulled it open. Inside the hidden compartment was a metal box. Rusted. Locked with a strange mechanism that didn't look like anything standard. It didn't look like something a teacher had stashed away for safekeeping. It looked deliberate. Secretive. He carefully pulled it out and set it on the ground. A teacher standing nearby, her face pale, whispered, "What is that doing behind a painting in a school?" Mark didn't answer. He was already on his radio, calling it into the station, requesting backup and a bomb squad just in case. While they waited, Rex remained completely alert, his ears up, his body positioned between the box and the crowd. When the squad finally arrived, they quickly secured the area and ran a full scan. The results sent a wave of disbelief through everyone standing there. Inside the box were documents. Decades old. Building schematics. Even a small firearm wrapped carefully in cloth. But the most shocking discovery was a folder marked classified, containing photographs and coded letters tied to a Cold War intelligence operation. This wasn't just a forgotten box. It was a piece of hidden history, buried in plain sight for decades. If this story touches your heart, please share it with someone who loves uncovering the truth. The next few days at the school were anything but ordinary. News vans crowded the parking lot. Reporters scrambled to cover what was now being called the hidden Cold War vault. Inside the school, investigators worked around the clock, searching every inch of the old building for more clues. Historians were brought in to examine the documents, and what they uncovered shocked even the most seasoned professionals. The school had unknowingly been built on top of a covert intelligence station during the height of the Cold War. Back then, the quiet town was a sleepy but strategic location, perfect for hiding communication equipment and personnel out of Soviet reach. The compartment behind the painting had been used as a dead drop location, a secure spot where intelligence officers could leave messages, maps, and sensitive data for couriers to retrieve without ever making direct contact. The painting itself had been hung decades later by a well-meaning teacher, completely unaware of what it covered. The classified documents revealed names, operations, and encrypted communications that had never been made public. Some of the individuals mentioned were still alive, now elderly and scattered across the country. A few were contacted by investigators and confirmed the school's strange past with quiet nods and eyes filled with tears. Parents were stunned. Students were fascinated. The principal, who just weeks earlier had been worried about budget cuts and fundraising events, now found herself fielding calls from the Pentagon and historical preservation societies. And at the center of it all was Rex, the dog who had sensed what no human ever could, tearing through not just canvas, but through layers of forgotten history itself. The town would never see that school the same way again. Rex wasn't just a police dog anymore. He had become a local legend, a national hero. He stood beside Officer Mark, his partner and handler, wearing a shiny new medal around his neck. The town council had awarded him the K9 Valor Medal, a rarely given honor, and officially named him an honorary citizen of the town. Cameras flashed. Crowd cheered. But for Mark, who had trained with Rex since he was just a pup, it wasn't the medals or the media attention that mattered. That evening, after all the ceremonies were over, Mark knelt beside Rex in the quiet of their patrol car. He scratched behind the dog's ears and whispered, "You didn't just uncover a secret today, buddy. You reminded all of us that some truths refuse to stay buried forever." If this incredible story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing true stories that prove sometimes the most important discoveries come from the most unexpected heroes.